So hi, it's Mark Shaw again with still the same laugh as before. Here again with Nick Williams, talking about entrepreneurship, inspired entrepreneurship and so on. One of the things that you talk about, Nick, on your videos and your books and some of the stuff that you do is baby steps. Can you just talk a little bit more about what you mean by baby steps?
Yeah, well, a number of things, but I think number one, I think people often think there's a mystery to success. It's like people that are successful have got some X factor that they don't have themselves. And I've been running my own business now for 20 years, nearly 19, 20 years. And when I look around at what I've done and when I've coached thousands of other people to start their own businesses, really the thing that makes a difference is actually just doing something.
Okay.
Ultimately, I don't think there is a mystery to success. If there is a mystery, it's just successful people just get on and do stuff that people that think about being successful don't do.
Well,
they just take lots of little steps.
Well, one of the things, I often say to people, particularly about Twitter, is just join the conversation. That's what it says on the front. Just join, just get in there and see what happens.
Yeah. So I'm a great advocate of just start doing something.
Okay.
By all means have brilliant, million-dollar ideas in your head, but take the first step. But I think some people are very reluctant to do that. Often, I think, especially adults, we often think it's a bit demeaning. If I'm the, like the director of a company, but I'm thinking of starting my own little business, doing something, it's like if you're really competent and successful in one area of your life, you feel it's almost demeaning to start from scratch in another area of your life. So I think sometimes people think it's beneath them to take a small step. They only want to take big, miraculous leaps. And in my experience, often even taking a baby step is really scary for people.
Okay.
I remember when I first set up in business, as I say, nearly 20 years ago, I registered for VAT fairly early on in my journey because I thought I'm going to be dealing with businesses. I didn't need to register because of what I was turning over, but I registered because of credibility in a way. And I remember how terrified I was. I started my business because I wanted to be free, and now I've got to account to Her Majesty's customs and excise. It terrified me even to take that baby step. So I think even baby steps hold a lot of excitement and they hold a lot of fear. So that's why I always coach people to take small steps, because again, I think part of my kind of formula for success, if there is one, is confront your fears. You're never going to walk around them most of the time. You just have to kind of look them in the eye and go, I'm terrified and I'm going to do it. And then when you've done it, you go, what was I so scared about?
Okay.
So I'm very much for getting people into the habit of kind of following their excitement, but following through their fear to get to the other side. And then just build up that muscle of kind of confronting fear and get to the other side and going, wow, how good do I feel now that I've busted through that fear?
Okay, and I was reading an article a week or so ago now about a group of people called the sort of 9-to-5ers, the sort of people that keep their day job and then at night time come and do something else. In fact, I was with a guy yesterday, quite a funny story, who the name of their business is Twilight Zone. Okay, they support Macs and all that sort of computer stuff. And I said, so why is your business called Twilight Zone? He said, because the guy who started it in the evening after his day job. And Twilight Zone, okay, and it's just stuck, and that's the biggest question they get asked. So how would you talk to people, and what would you say for people who were thinking of doing something in the evenings, in terms of, should they tell their employer? Should they keep it a secret, or should they tell them that, you know what, I'm trying something in the evenings as well? Is that, what's your view on that, do you think?
It depends. If you're contractually obliged, then maybe you have to. But
okay.
You need to check your employment contract. But I think that can also feed into people's resistance. And I talk about resistance being people's fears and all the excuses we have for not doing things. And most of us are pretty expert at not doing things and talking ourselves out of stuff. So I think, worrying about what your employer might think would be just a great way of feeding your resistance. So as long as you're not breaking any contract, I would suggest just do it.
Okay.
Because I think the other things that taking baby steps helps with is it helps you learn. So if you take a baby step, if it works, you'll learn what works. But if it doesn't work, you're going to learn failure quick and small.
Okay.
So I think it's a great learning process because, I'm sure you've seen it, and I've certainly seen people that have spent 5 years planning a business, launched it, and it hasn't run. But because they never tested it out, they never took the small steps. It's like in their mind it was going to work, but they never put it out to the light of day. So I'm a great believer that, engage with the real world with your idea to see what works, see what doesn't work, see what people respond to, see what they don't respond to, and then keep going.
Excellent. Well, this little interview on baby steps. And in the next few videos that we're going to be doing, we'll be talking about all sorts of things. And one of the things in particular we're going to talk about is the business plan. Do you really need one? And I know you've got some views on that, and we'll touch on that in another video. So thanks for watching.
Thank you.